Hello everyone, this is Kim Snyder from the API Guys, and we are going to do a screencast today giving you a little bit of a hot tip on how to send an email to a admin, for example, with an email that is hard-coded but contains a link with the contact information of the original contact who is going through the campaign. So let me explain this scenario to you just a little bit more. So here's an example. Let's imagine that we have a campaign, and in this campaign we've got a new customer who's going through the campaign, and periodically we need to send an email to someone on our administrative staff, hard-coded into that email. We want that email to contain a link which they can click on, and it takes them either to the contact record itself of the customer, or in this case a form which is pre-populated with information from that contact that they can then enter information and it goes back into that contact record. The challenge with this is, you may or may not know this, although if you're watching this I assume you figured this out. Anytime in Infusionsoft you create an email in their builder, it automatically attaches the contact information of the person you are sending it to, regardless of your attempts to get it to do otherwise. So what I'm going to show you today is how you can do that, how you can get the link in the email body to contain the contact information for the contact going through the campaign while still sending it to somebody else who is hard-coded in the to field. And the way that we're going to do that is this. Well, let me first of all show you what doesn't work, and then I'll show you what does work. So here is my sample email, my demo email that I'm going to use for this, and we're going to send this from a campaign. So in this case, what you would normally do here is, so let's imagine this is going through a campaign. Well, let me just show you the campaign that we're going to use here. This campaign is in Kim Demo. Okay, so the part that we're going to use is this part right here. Move that just a little bit to set it apart. And this is our scenario. In this case, we're going to just apply a tag that triggers this sequence. And within this campaign, we want to send an email with an email address that is hard-coded that has a link to a form. And here's our form. We're going to assume that we have an internal scheduler who schedules an appointment with a contact. Let's imagine that it's to make a delivery of some sort. So their job is, when they get this email, to call the contact and to schedule a time. And what we want is, when they get this email, they being our internal scheduler, that this has the contact or customer's information in it, not the schedulers, which is what Infusionsoft is going to want to do. Okay, so that's the scenario. Now, how we would normally do this, how you would think that you would do this, is that you would create an automation link. That would be Infusionsoft's preferred way of doing that. And so if I was going to do that, in fact, I have an automation link created here. So it would be this. If I went to links and I came down here to my automation links and I said insert, this is a automation link that does in fact go to that form that I want. But what happens when I send this is that, and I think I can show you in a test, this is the automation link, and when I click on that one, it was sent to me and it puts my information in it rather than the contact. You can see that I applied this to a test contact, Nessa Dog, but it was sent to me, Kim at theapiguys.com. It was hard-coded as me, so even though the contact going through the campaign was not me, it was Nessa Dog, it still puts my information in this form, and that is not what we want. We want Nessa Dog's information to go in this form. So an automation link is not going to work. Now, another way that you may think, okay, well, maybe if I hard code the link, I might be able to get it to work. In other words, what if I was to do, something like, and I'll just do a little bit of a partial here, but something like, oh, I don't have that form again. So if I take this and instead put something like this, and then we'll take everything out except for email. If you know anything about query strings, you might think, oh, well, this could work. I could do it like this and make this a merge field, like something like this. Contact.email, put the tildes around it, and maybe that would work. But that exact same thing happens. Because it's being sent from within Builder, it doesn't work. It is going to merge, but it's going to merge my email address, since it's coming to me, rather than Nessa Dogs. So this is not going to work either. Okay? So how do we solve this problem? Well, this is how you solve it. This is an HTML snippet, and you find that HTML snippet right here. When you drag an HTML snippet into an email, it comes up with this HTML settings. Now, you don't really have to know a lot of HTML in order to get this done, but all you have to do is create a link. And I'll show you the link that I've created here, and it does in fact have some merge fields in it. It's just exactly what I tried to do down here, only by putting it in an HTML snippet. Campaign Builder is not, or the Email Builder rather, is going to escape these and not replace them with my information, but it is instead going to replace them with that of the contact going through the campaign. So here is the URL to that same form that I'm trying to send them to, my scheduling form, and then here is the query string. A query string is a question mark that says this is where the URL ends and the other information I want to send over begins. And then I put in ID equals and then a merge field for contact ID. And then we put an and sign, and then we say first name equals, and then contact.firstname merge field. We'll do last name equals contact.last name merge field, and finally, for our purposes, we'll just do email equals, and we'll do contact.email in that merge field. Now here is the text that goes inside of our link, and notice that I also included, just for good measure, schedule link for contact.firstname. So I put anything between these two tags is what's going to show up as the link. So I threw in a merge field for the first name, again, just for good measure. So you'll see what this is going to look like here when I send this and how that's going to work. Okay, so remember this. In fact, I may even just take a copy of this so that we can refer to it here in a second. So I put this in an HTML snippet and I save it. And now, when I send this email, here is what is going to happen. I am sending this email not to the contact.email, but rather to me, Kim, hard-coded, Kim at theapiguides.com, but I'm sending it through a campaign. And because of the way I did this, the link is going to contain the campaign contacts information, not mine. So I'm going to say save and search. Now the way that we are going to send this is I am going to go to, I've been doing Nessa Dog, but let's do a different dog. Let's do Dritta Dog. I was testing with Nessa Dog, but we'll do Dritta Dog. Dritta is Dritta at kimsnyder.com. Dritta Dog 18853 is her ID. And the way I'm going to send this from this campaign is, I better go back and make sure this has all been published. You can see I'm going to apply a tag. It's going to send the email. Then that email contains a link to this scheduling form. And that's how we're going to get this information about their appointment to the scheduler, or the need to schedule an appointment. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to apply that tag, and that tag is this one right here, test EMA link. I'm going to say apply, It's going to take a second for this to run, but what we're going to see here is that I'm going to get an email with that link. Okay, here is the email with that link, and let's take a look at it. So you can see that it did in fact come to me, Kim, at the API guys. And you can also see, we'll make this a little prettier. There we go. You can also see that the link says scheduled link for Drita, not Kim. And you may or may not be able to see it down here in the bottom left corner, but you can see that query string once I click on it. Now it's taken us to our form, and remember that query string that I created? Well, now it has in fact replaced my merge fields with, make this bigger. Oh, it doesn't make that bigger, only this. It's replaced my merge fields with the information from Drita's record, and also pre-populated my form wherever it has information available to it. I did not put time or appointment date up here, which is why it doesn't show up here. If it's not in the query string, it isn't going to go pull that information from Infusionsoft, only the information that is in the query string. Now, if I submit this information, for example, I say now 2 p.m. and the appointment is with Mickey Mouse, I say submit. Thank you for filling out our form, Drita. And now if I go back to Drita and I refresh her record, click through her record, you'll see this is the field where I actually put that who it is with, and you'll also see that I put the time in the spouse name, I believe. Yep, 2 p.m. in the spouse name. So you can see that that information is in fact going from the form to Drita Dog's record. So that is how you put a link in an email that is tied to the record of the campaign contact rather than the contact in the to field. I hope you found that helpful. If I can ever answer any questions for you, how to do things in Infusionsoft, how to make it do things it doesn't want to do is my very favorite topic, so always happy to help. Feel free to hit me up either by email or in one of our Facebook groups would be great, and if I can help, I would certainly be happy to do it.